everyone. I'm so glad you could join us again. I hope you've been enjoying all of our discoveries so far. Let's go make some new ones. Come on. Greece, officially the Hellenic Republic, is a country in southern Europe. The population is over 11 million people, with Athens being the national's capital and largest city. Greece is strategically located at the crossroads of Europe, Western Asia, and Africa. The Aegean Sea lies to the east, the Ionian Sea to the west, and the Mediterranean Sea to the south. Thus, Greece has the longest coastline in the Mediterranean basin and the 11th longest coastline in the world. Greece contains approximately 1,400 islands, of which 227 are inhabited. 80% of Greece's territory consists of mountains, Mount Olympus being the highest, at 2,917 meters. Mycenaean Greece is considered to be the cradle of all Western civilization. It was the birthplace of democracy, Western philosophy, the Olympic Games, Western literature, political science, major scientific and mathematical principles, and Western drama. The culture and technological achievements of Greece greatly influenced the world, with many aspects of Greek culture being introduced to the east by Alexander the Great and to the west by the Roman Empire. This rich legacy is partly reflected in the 17 UNESCO World Heritage Sites located in Greece, ranking it 7th in Europe and 13th in the world. The modern Greek state was established in 1830, following the Greek War of Independence from the Ottoman Empire. Greece is a developed democratic country with an advanced high-income economy, a high standard of living, and a high ranking on the Human Development Index. Greece is a member of the United Nations, the European Union, the Eurozone, NATO, and the Council of Europe. Today, we're visiting the Eclectic Gallery in Oak Bay. Our guest is calligraphy artist Georgia Angelopoulos. Let's hear her story.
Calligraphy is a word that comes from two Greek words, which mean good and writing. So calligraphy is good writing. Calligraphic art also encompasses lettering. And if we look into history, you'll see, for example, inscriptions in the ancient world and writing on papyrus and stuff. I would include those as lettering art forms or calligraphy. And calligraphy was traditionally used to document things that are important in our culture, be it our belief systems, our literature, or even something as pedestrian as commerce. For example, the selling and trading of goods had to be documented. So writing developed for various reasons, some of them through commerce and some of them through the need to write to transmit religious beliefs. So in the West, we don't really consider calligraphy an art form anymore. It's sort of lost some of its prestige since the advent of printing in the 15th century, where the handwritten was replaced by the machine, by the printed page. However, there are cultures which have a very high regard for calligraphy, and that would be the Asian culture. My Greek heritage is very important to me, and it's pivotal in my work. There are several reasons for that. I think going back to Greece when I was very young and seeing art and architecture and even manuscripts really resonated with me. And I think living in two cultures, coming from two cultures, the Greek part of the Greek part was very marvelous for me. It was something very special, and I paid a lot of attention to it and spent a lot of time later studying Greek history and art and architecture. It was my specialty in art history. From the Greek heritage, I'm also exploring a lot of ancient texts as well, because calligraphy links into literature, so I'm exploring ancient texts and writing systems, and I have contributed to a couple of books, the World Encyclopedia of Calligraphy, just a couple of pages on the Greek tradition and trying to resuscitate it, and also a lot of Greek work is featured in Mastering Calligraphy, another book that's come out, and various other publications in New York have published a lot of my Greek work. I do a lot of work for the Premier's office. Every time ministers get sworn in, I've written their oaths. Whenever we have dignitaries coming from overseas, I write the pages that they sign, and I do what are called freedoms. They're sort of very important certificates or scrolls that are given to outstanding citizens I worked for Saanich on this. And this is really interesting because it's a medieval tradition that's still being done today. I would have to say also being selected to be a part of the International Exhibition of Calligraphy based in Russia. And there's a man in Russia who believes we should not let this art form die. And he has selected calligraphers from around the world. So I represent Canada and Greece. And he brings us to Russia once a year to lecture and exhibit. And he's also opened a museum of calligraphy in Moscow. So it's very exciting to be a part of sort of a Noah's Ark of calligraphy, making sure that the tradition is kept alive and meaningful in the present age.
or 3 festivals per year. The family gets together, and if they're in the village gets together, and they enjoy the food that everybody makes. They share the food, they share the wine, all the other drinks that they have, and then they dance until they drop. So the idea was to do something similar here, to capture the essence of the festival, and the essence of what we call back home philoxenia, which is a word which means we're friends to the strangers. We have to make a few thousand of this, so there is a plan here, right?
훈업. Λοιπόν, πάμε ξανά. Λοιπόν,
Thank you for joining us today. I hope you had a good time. I look forward to seeing you again.